Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. So if today is your first time meeting me, my name is Bella and I am your favorite online fashion tutor. So today we're going to be making a flared bottom pants, or you can call it a bell pants, a bell bottom pants. So the measurements you will need your waist measurement, you need your hip, you need your laps or thigh, you need your trouser length, you need your new length, and you need your round knee. Okay, so the first thing first, I've marked out my starting line here. So I'm going to impute my my vertical measurement, that is the length measurement. The fitted part is going to stop at the knee or a little bit above or below the knees. It depends on your choice of preference. Okay, so I'm going to mark down my new measurement, which is 16. If you want it a little bit below the knee, you can add 1 inch or 2 inches to it. So I'll mark that out. So the next measurement I'm going to be marking is my crotch depth line. So you can get your crotch depth in so many ways. The best I like is the child or the person, even if it's an adult, you should sit on a flat surface. Then you measure from the waist to wherever they put their the waist is wherever they put their trousers on. Okay, you can be the lower or the upper waist to the surface where they are seated. So you'll see a picture of the illustration on your screen, or you can do the simple calculation of hip divided by 4. You can do +1 or +1.5 depending on how big the person is, but the best I like is taking the measurement. So in this case, I measured her, the kid, and her crotch depth is 9 inches. So I'm going to be doing 9 inches. Her hips is 33. So when you divide it by 4, you get 8.25, and if you add 1 inch to it, you get 9.25. So you see that it's approximately almost the same thing. So this is the two lines we'll be working with for now. So on the waist measurement, so because her waist is 29, divided by 4 will give me 7.25. But because I'm going to be using elastic for this waist, I'm not going to be using her exact waist measurement. Okay, so I'll be adding 2 inches to it. You can add more if you want. So just make sure that the measurement, you can use your hip measurement at the waist. Just make sure that the measurement you're using up here is free enough to pass the hip. So I'll just add 2 inches to it, and it will give me 9.25. okay, so this is 9.25. I'll bring down the same measurement down here, 9.25, and I'll mark with a straight line. Okay, so on the crotch depth line, I'm going to be imputing my thigh measurement, which is 24 divided by 2. So that will give me 12. Thigh is 12. So because this is a leggings, I'm going to be deducting ½ inch from this side, from the edge of my paper, ½ inch, because it's kind of stretchy. Okay, and on this part I'm going to be deducting ¼ inch. Okay, on the waist part I'm going to be deducting ¼ inch. Okay, so on this new part, this new part, I'm going to be deducting 1 inch. So this is what we have. We have ¼ inch deduction here, 1 inch deduction, and ½ inch deduction and 1 inch deduction. Okay, this is just to give it a kind of a slant line. So on my new line, my new is, the round new is 14 divided by 2 will give me 7. So I'll mark out my 7. Please note that there is no allowance for the front part. Okay, so you can see So to get my crotch curve, I'll just come up by 2 to 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches, mark it and use my curve to get it. Okay, you can come out by 1 inch. If you can come out by 1 inch, just make sure you're coming out on a straight line. So just measure out 1 inch, okay, so that the front will be nice and curved. So you have your crotch curve. Okay, so for the elastic, I'm going to be using this. I'll be using this as my elastic band. So I'll extend the line. This is 2 inches, in case if you want to ask me. This line here is 2 inches, so this is for my elastic. Okay, so I'll cut this out. Remember to add your sewing allowance, 1/2 inch sewing allowance at the bottom. You will use it to join the flare. So guys, this is what we have for the front. I'll cut it out now and we'll draft the back. So guys, after cutting out the front, this is my front. I've cut it out, so I placed it on another pattern paper. So I'm going to come out at this crotch line. This is the crotch line. I'm going to come out by 2 inches. Okay, so even on my new part, I'm going to use 2 inches. That's the allowance we'll be needing. Then on this part, I'm going to come out by 2 inches as well. You can do 1.5 to 2.5. okay, so or let me reduce it to 1.5 since she's just a kid. Okay, 1.5. So on the waistline, I'm going to come up by 1.5 as well. So I'll connect all these things. So this 1.5, I'll connect it back to the waistline, the original waistline. This 1.5 curve, you try to connect it back to the curve of the waistline. This is to avoid the pant entering the bump. Okay, so this I'm going to connect. This is 2 inches. I'm going to connect it. Okay, so we're done drafting the back. I just added the allowance at this the inseam. There is no allowance. I didn't add any allowance at the outer seam, so I'll cut this out now. So guys, after cutting it out, this is what we have. This is for the front and this is for the back. You can see the back is bigger. Okay, so I'm going to transfer them to this fabric. So guys, I'm done cutting out my patterns on my fabric. As you can see, this is the front and this is the back. So the next thing to do is to cut out our flare. So what do you need? You need just to fold over your fabric. Now, how much fabric do you how do you know if your fabric will be enough? Okay, so the round nail, our round nail is 14 divided by 4. 14 divided by 4 will give me 3.5. So 3.5 plus the length of the flare. So how do you know the length that you calculate for the flare? Okay, so the initial length of the trouser was 30 inches and our waist to nail is 16. So you deduct 16 from 30 and that will give us 14 inches. Okay, so we are left with 14 inches to complete the trouser. Now what you do is to add your 3.5. Remember we did the round nail 14 divided by 4, because we're going to fold our fabric into 4, divided by 4 will give us 3.5. So add that 3.5 to the 14 of the length, okay, and that will give us 17.5. So when you fold your fabric, like this, okay, this is the fabric, okay, so I'll fold over like this. So you make sure that the width of the fabric is up to the measurement you got, is up to the value you got, okay, so it's complete here. And watch what I'll do. This is the first folding. This is the fabric I'll fold over for the first time. Then the next thing I'll do is to bring this edge here, I'll bring it over to this point, forming a triangle, okay. I have a detailed video on how to cut different types of lace, so you can watch that, you can check that out. So this is what I have here. So I'm going to be marking out my 17.5 all round. I'll keep my tape rule this place, okay, I'm keeping my tape rule this place. So I'll mark out 17.5. okay, please, you're going to be adding allowance. You're going to be adding 1 inch allowance to it, so you're left with 18.5. so I'll mark out 18.5. If you cannot manage 1 inch allowance, just make it 1.5 inches or 2 inches, okay, to be on a safer side. So I think I'll be using this marker pen, so I'll connect it all round, okay, 18.5 round. So this is it. Then from here you're going to mark out your 3.5 inches for the radius, 3.5 inches. So this is what we have, okay. So at the end of the day, this is what will complete the pants to give us the length that we desire, okay. So when you put this to this part, okay, you measure. So remember that this place is our elastic, so I'll start from here, and this is 31 inches. Remember we added a 1 inch for hemming, so you can see that this is 31 inches and our trouser length is 30 inches, so you can see that we are right on track. So we'll go over now to the sewing machine. So guys, the first thing to do is to sew our crotch for the front and for the back. So this is our front pattern. I'm going to sew the crotch with So I'm done stitching the crotch area with 1/2 inch both for the front and back. So the next thing to do now is to, if you have your serger around, you should serge the crotch area, okay. So the next thing to do now is to sew the inseam. Open it up like this and match up the crotch area, okay. Make sure that the crotch area is matching. You can pin down. Then you're going to sew with 1/2 inch at the inseam, okay. So from this point I will sew down and I'll continue from this point down like this. So after joining the inseam, as you can see, I've joined the inseam. So I'll go ahead now to join the side seam with 1 inch, okay. So I'll join the side seam with 1 inch. So because I'm already used to my joining, I want to explain something. I already know the allowance I put and how to maneuver my allowances. So for anybody that don't know what he or she, for a beginner, all you need to do is to spread out your back and your front. Okay, so you measure out what you have. Remember, the back is always bigger than the front, so it's just like you taking the normal dress measurement. So you measure out what you have for the back. When you measure it out, you check also what you have for the front. So you add them all together and know how many inches you're going to sew by the side. But if you followed my teachings very well, this my method, I always use 1 inch for the side. So guys, I'm done sewing. Let's measure what we have. Remember, the round nail was or rather is 14. So this is what I have here. Trying to measure my round nail. 14 divided by 2 will give us 7, right? So I have 7 here, so that means it's correct. That's why I said I already know how many inches I'm going to sew in with the allowance I gave. Okay, so guys, the next thing to do is you should hem the bottom of your flare and we'll stitch the side. Okay, when you hem the bottom of your flare, we'll stitch this. You remember one side is open, or if you cut yours complete 360-degree, then there is no side that will be opened. But this part that is open now is going to be at the inseam inside. Okay, so I'm going to hem my flare now. Hi guys, so I'm done stitching, hemming the flare, and also I did front seam for the side. Okay, so I stitched the front part first, then turn it over. So if you don't know how to do this, watch my video on how to perfectly finish your garments without a serger. You will see it there. So the next thing to do is to fix your flare. I've done for the other leg. Please remember that this flare you're cutting 2. I don't think I mentioned it earlier. You're cutting 2 for the 2 legs. So I've fixed for this leg. You can see I fixed for this leg. So I'll wear it on a mannequin after I finish sewing so that we can see it very well. So how do you fix this? So I prefer my the joining by the side of the flare. This joining here, I prefer it to be at the inseam, the crotch area part. Okay, this is the side seam, this is the inseam. So I prefer this joining to be at the inseam. So this is the right side of my fabric and this is the right side of my flare. You can see this is the right side of the flare. So all you need to do is to keep this like this and put your hand inside and flip it over. Okay, I don't know if you saw that, so I'll do it again. This is the right side of the fabric and this is the right side of my flare with my joining by the side too. So you put it like this and flip this one over like this. Okay, so this is just the way to fix it. So you pin round, making sure that the joining of the inseam matches the joining at the flare. Okay, the joining of the inseam should match the joining of the flare. So I'll do that now. Pin it, sew it round. Then the next thing that is remaining for this trouser is to fix our elastic band. Okay, so to fix your elastic band, I have several trouser tutorials that I've used elastic band. I have for kids, I have for adults. It's the same method, just folding your sewing allowance and you fix. So I will see us at the And after sewing this, I'll show us what we've made on the mannequin. Okay, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not. Okay, if you've watched to this extent, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up. If you have any question, drop your questions in the comment section. If you want to contact me directly, you can chat me up. My number will be in the description box. Chat me up. I always answer people on WhatsApp. Okay, so if you have any question, drop the question in the comment section. Okay, so I'll see us at the end of the video after I sew this round. You can see I'm pinning it round. So I quickly want to show those that don't know how to fix their elastic. Remember, we gave 2 inches allowance for our elastic band. So I'm going to fold over this thing I'm about to do now. I'll do it for the 4 cardinal points: the center back, the side back, the center front, and the side front. Okay, so once you do this, every other places will align. So I'll fold in 1/2 inch first. Okay, I'll fold in this is the fabric. I fold in 1/2 inch first. Then I'll fold. Remember, your 2 inches allowance is remaining 1.5. So I'll fold over the remaining 1.5. Okay, so I'll fold over the remaining 1.5. Okay, so perfect. So this is for the center back. So you repeat this for the center front and the sides. Okay, so when you're done, when you're done doing this, you sew, then leave an opening of about 2 inches. Okay, you leave an opening of about 2 inches depending on the size of your elastic. I'm going to be using this elastic, this 1 inch elastic. Okay, so you leave some opening to pass your elastic inside. So I'll continue doing this now, and I'll show us what we've achieved on the mannequin. So guys, look what we've made. You can see the bottom. You can see the bottom. Okay, my mannequin is smaller than the one of the pants, but you can see. So if you don't know how to cut your flare very well, I have a tutorial on different types of flare. If you don't know how to insert elastic band very well on trousers and pants, I have a lot of tutorials on trousers. Almost all my trouser videos are elastic waist, so you should see that. So kindly give this video a thumbs up, like, share, comment, and I'll see us in my next video. Till then, bye.